Welcome to GM Corner. Today I'm joined by Michael Leemhuis, chairman of ClubWorks and a former general manager.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for
good to be
coming.
here, Howard. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your position now and your journey and your arc on your career.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to start at the beginning and kind of end up to where we are today. So um, I'm originally from South Africa, immigrant to this country, and love everything that is, the opportunities that have been afforded to me here. I started off as a school teacher, which is kind of not a traditional way to get into this industry, but then very quickly transitioned into tennis professional, then into a golf professional. And then I happened to meet somebody who, when I was working as a golf professional in North Carolina, suggested to me, have you ever thought about being a general manager? And I said, no, I haven't really thought about that. And he said, well, the good news is if you're the general manager, you get to stick your nose into all the different areas within the club. You're not stuck with one area. And that kind of resonated with me. And my first entree into the GM side was working for Saul Kersner in developing his property down in South Africa and opening 2 golf courses for them down there, running a big golf tournament for them. Then I worked for the PGA Tour for a number of years and ran one of their properties and learned an awful lot from them. They have great SOPs, standards of procedure, standards of operation, and got recruited from there to go literally across the road from the TPC at Avenue across the road to Congressional Country Club. And that was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, or one of the best opportunities that I was ever presented in my career, to go to a world-class club and to be able to be there. I was there for 16 years, and we hosted a number of Tiger Woods events, a couple of other PGA tours, but then the pinnacle was doing the US Open in 2011, which was really neat. From there, I never thought I'd ever leave there. It's such a great spot, but I got recruited to go down to Ocean Reef. And it was one that I was not sure whether that was the right move for me or not. I was 60 years old at the time. But after a number of different conversations with them and my wife, we ended up going down there, and I loved it. Ocean Reef is a unique way of life. It's a unique experience and nothing like anything else, but really added for me arrows in my quiver to be able to do what I'm doing now. What I'm doing right now is kind of had been heading up ClubWorks, which is an umbrella company that houses a number of real specialty companies in different verticals within the industry, and really enjoying it. And it's been a fun ride.
Yeah, thank you. So today's series, we're talking about powered by the people, which is obviously a very critical topic in the club industry today. Staff and how we deal with that on multiple levels. You've had a lot of experience with that. So tell us a little bit about that situation with the clubs that you've been at.
Yeah, I think, Howard, as I've thought through this, and as we've gone through the years, it has been a topic that's become more and more relevant to what we do. And I'm going to kind of draw on the experience that I had at Ocean Reef Club, which, as you know, is one of the largest private clubs, certainly in revenues there, than any other club, possibly in the world. We had over 1,100 staff members. And I very quickly realized when I got there, there's only so many members I could personally touch. So in a smaller club, whether it was a Congressional or one of the other properties that I managed, you were able to get to those members and see them and shake hands, be visible, do all those things that GMs normally do. But when you're managing a property as diverse as Ocean Reef, which is a campus more than a clubhouse per se, the need to rely on your staff or your associates, as we call them at Ocean Reef, was absolutely critical. With 1,100, each one of them had to understand what the goals and aspirations, what the mission statement was, what the positioning statement was for the club. And every day they had to live that. So I used to joke that I was one of the highest paid handshakers, backslappers, high-fivers in the industry, because I spent a large percentage of my time interacting with staff and designing staff programs to assist them to be able to achieve the end goal, which is to take care of the members.
So when you're talking about staff and empowering them like you did at Ocean Reef Club, do you have any tips for general managers with regards to staff retention or little programs that you did to really get them feel like they're part of the team?
That's a really good question. I'm going to answer it this way. One of the things that we hear as general managers all the time, we treat our staff as if they were family. And sometimes it's just an expression and it's not It's not really meant. You really have to hit some bad times to really see whether in fact that is true. And I'll give you an example of that. At Ocean Reef, we had Hurricane Irma come through, category 4, category 5, that went through and impacted Ocean Reef really badly. We were closed for 113 days. And if we were closed and we were in this wonderful, magnificent club with big high-end houses, we knew that all our staff were impacted as well. And their houses probably weren't in as good shape as some of the big, mansions that we had on the property. I remember having a conversation with the then senior executive from the board of Ocean Reef. I said, if ever there was a chance to really showcase what we do for our employees, we can talk about mission statements. We can talk a little bit about the Ritz-Carlton style cards that we had. We can do all the different programs. We can do education, all of that. But at the end of the day, what really matters is when things really get bad, how do we interact with them at that stage? And they said, well, what are you recommending? And I said, well, with this hurricane, we're going to be closed for over 100 days. We know that right now. They're probably concerned that they're going to lose their job. They're probably going to be concerned about where the next amount of money is coming from. They probably got damage to their houses, or they know somebody in their family that got damaged. We need to address that before the hurricane even hits. Before the hurricane hits us, we know it's going to come. This is hours before. We need to send out a letter to them and say, listen, we have your back. We're there for you. You going nowhere. You are staying here with us. We're going to take care of you. And they made a decision, Howard, right there, and we hadn't completely gone through all of the insurance and everything else. They went immediately and said, Mike, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that they are covered, whether they work or they don't work, for the next 3 months as we back open up. We're going to make sure that they are absolutely covered. They're going to be covered with a salary. They're going to be covered to have their job. And we're going to go to our foundation and we're going to find out who has been impacted the most physically in the structure, and we're going to take care of those people. Howard, it changed, and again, sometimes it takes something as ugly as that to happen to really, it changed the culture. And if you fast forward the 100 days, at the end of it, when we opened back up again, it was out of season, so I only had 800 employees. We had them all in our big banquet facility. And I was standing in the front talking to them, and I had the board, the key board members standing waiting in the wings. And then I announced to them, I said, ladies and gentlemen, here's who really impacted everyone, my life included. And they walked in. We had a standing ovation.
It's great.
800 people stood up and gave them a standing ovation, ear-shattering ovation that they had. So to me, you can have all the paperwork, you can have all the bits and pieces, and you should have all of that. But at the same time, they need to genuinely know that you have their backs. And that would be the biggest piece of advice I would give them, is have their backs, interact with them, know when their kids' birthdays are, know what their kids' names are, know what their wife's name is or their spouse's name, husband's name, understand all of that. And that takes a lot. That's just like with the members. You do it for the members. How do we do it for the employees? Is your employee, another one would be, is your employee cafeteria or associate cafeteria, is that food that came from last night's banquet that the members had, or is that specially prepared for them every single day? Is that menu designed to be the healthiest menu that they can get? They have an option to eat a hamburger if they want, but are there healthy options that they could do? These are the little things, treating them like members. For me, that's how I always looked at it. My employees, my associates were my members to take care of and make sure that they do. I think if you have that mindset, I think things go really well. People don't want to leave you. They don't want to go and find another job, especially if they're happy doing what they're doing. Don't give them opportunities or reason why they want to move on and do something else. So,
Great story, great advice. Thank you for joining us, Michael.
appreciate it.